Hello, I'm Steph from iDriver Classic, and today we're at the event that I've been so looking forward to. It is Rustival 2. Now in this video, because the day is already a little bit crazy, even though it's only just past 10 o'clock, there are hundreds of cars here. And in fact, we're expecting thousands of people here today. We're probably expecting in the region of 2,500 to 3,000 humans to be here with us today, which is so scary when you think about it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and get around as much of the show as possible, see what's here, and we're going to try and get into those far-flung corners, because if, like me, you're getting really excited about some of the stuff down here, you might have missed some of the stuff up there. So come on, let's see what cars we find who we meet, and hear a few stories.
The saddest thing about running Rustival is that you just don't get to see everything, including this bus. Now, I really wanted to come and see the bus. I wanted to see the fire engine. I wanted to see everything. But here's the thing. When you're organising the car show, you have to put your own wants and needs second. So what I did was I slightly cheated. So whilst my lovely boyfriend, Freddie, set up the stand and was doing an amazing job. And in fact, he ran the stand pretty much all day. So thank you very much, Freddie, because I got no photos with you and no video. Anyway, I decided that one of my cheat codes to try and see as much as I could was to stand and watch the cars come in. Now, I have sped this footage up slightly, as you can probably tell, but I wanted to show you some of the diversity straight away as we begin this video, because look, we're not messing. When we say that all wheels are welcome, we really mean it. Now, I know that some people had really pinned their hopes and hearts on bringing something at home, as had I. I'd hoped to bring the Marina, but it just wasn't happening. So it's great to see people turn up, even if they were turning up in the car they weren't expecting to.
If you watch my NEC roundup video from, when were you at the NEC?
March, yeah, restoration show.
Tom was doing loads of work on this and it was still at project stage. Tom, tell us what's happened and tell us everything about your journey from being at the NEC with this car in bits, doing loads of stuff to it now being on the road.
So yeah, took it to the NEC, did all the mechanicals, so it's had new cam belt service, rebuilt carburettor, did the suspension bushes, brakes, fuel lines, so all the mechanical stuff got done at the NEC.
Yeah.
Then brought it home, took a week off work and spent the week thrashing it together to get it ready for another show.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make that show, took a bit of a break, then carried on, painted all the bits I'd welded up, and then took it for an MOT at the end of June, passed with a clean sheet.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did 20 miles to work and back, and then decided, right, that's enough of a test drive. I'm going to do 500-mile round trip to Norfolk and back.
And how did you get on your trip to Norfolk?
Apart from a squeaky fan belt, that was the only problem I had.
Well done.
And then on the drive back over the Dartford Bridge, it clocked over 100,000 miles. So,
hey!
So it's been all right. It's now got about 2,500 miles on it since I've been using it.
Are we still on original engine at 100k?
Yep, original
Brilliant.
engine.
Have you had to rebuild it?
No, just top it up with oil every now and then and keep an eye on the levels and just keep driving it. It's had a bit of a tune up and that's about it.
Nice, well done, Tom, and we wish you a happy Rustival.
Thank you very much, cheers.
When we created Rustival, we said all wheels are welcome, and some people didn't really understand that concept, but essentially what it was the idea is that, and if you're watching this for the first time and thinking, what is Rustival and why there's so many cars there that maybe aren't typically at a car show? Well, we basically wanted to create a format where no matter what you drove, you could come to Rustival, and if your project car was still really projecty and not really ready for the road, you could also come to Rustival, but you could come in your day car or the car that you run around alongside your classic car that maybe isn't a bona fide classic yet. And that's what I love about this, is that because all wheels are welcome, you tend to find that people bring out mad stuff that you don't even see really at classic car shows, because people go, well, it's maybe not tidy enough, it's maybe not unique enough or whatever. And that's one of the really great things. And as you can see here, there is quite a diverse lineup. So you might see brand new cars next to old stuff, next to pre-war. And in fact, the gap between the oldest and the newest car here was over 100 years, which is quite scary when you think about it, but also quite refreshing.
Now, we've just caught up with David, who introduced himself to me as Danger Mouse, so we're just going to push on now and just call him Danger all the way through. So Danger, tell us about your car.
Right, 1982 Citroen Diane. I've owned it since it was 8 years old.
Really?
Which is 34 years. It's mostly original. It's got a new chassis.
Yeah.
It had that 25 years ago. because, you know, 2CV chassis don't tend to last very long. Underneath here, though, is a 720cc engine built by Pete Sparrow,
Oh, nice.
who's been 2CV racing champion 7 times now.
What's top speed now then?
It goes. It goes.
Have you ever taken it around the track and found out your true potential?
Not yet. Not yet. I haven't been that brave.
It's a cool looking bit of kit. Have you taken it a lot of places? You've got a lot of stickers on.
It's been around France twice.
Yeah.
It's been all over the UK. When I go abroad, I tend to take this.
Nice that.
Yeah.
So then, do you use this daily? Is it just your sunny day car?
It's a sunny day car. I used to use it daily. I used to do 15,000 miles a year in it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So what's it like still getting parts? Is it an easy thing?
Really,
or?
really simple. There's 3 2CV parts suppliers now. One of them is like 10 miles from where I live. So.
Oh, that's easy enough. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of Rustival. We've put on some
Thank you.
sunshine for you so that you can bring your lovely car, and hopefully you'll spot a few more trends.
Cheers, Steph.
Now, one of our tasks at this show was to pick our favourite car. And blimey, I can't begin to tell you how hard it is when you're looking at all the cars on display and you think, oh, what do I pick? It's like trying to pick a favourite child. You just can't do it. It's so difficult. But I just want to give a special shout out to this Talbot. Absolutely loved it. And just coming up here is this Traction. Now, we'd looked at this Traction before at the Citroen Car Club Rally video, and Pete drove it all the way from Peterborough to be here. So thank you, Pete.
Now, one of my favourite channels on YouTube that I love watching, slightly for envy, slightly for awe, is UK barn finds. And I love Elton and Claire, but mostly I love Claire. I think she's got a great sense of humour, really fun, and brings something special to the channel that Elton can't bring. Sorry, Elton, if you're watching this. Now, Claire,
Yes.
this is flummoxed me slightly. What is this? Tell us about it.
Okay, so this is a 1985 Falcon S kit car
Yeah.
that we bought at auction for the princely sum of, there's wasp, £600.
Yeah.
And it's based actually on a 2CV6.
Is it really?
And the design is inspired by a Lotus 7.
Yeah.
And it's a non-runner at the moment. We may well have a tinker with it and see if we can get it going.
Are you going to do it today?
No.
Oh, I'm sure Kev would come and help if it was you.
Well, I don't know, if Kev will help, we will.
Yeah, I think you should. Why don't you try and get it running? Do you know what it needs?
Probably everything. The electrics, there's loads of wires under the dash,
Yeah.
so that will need looking at. But generally, they're pretty straightforward. 2CV engine.
Yeah, they are.
So pretty much just put some fuel in it and it might just go.
Now, for all the people, if you haven't watched UK Barn Finds, type it into YouTube. It's UK Barn Finds. But my question to you is, where do you keep finding all these? We do not, for anyone who lives over here, we do not have this many barns in the UK. Where are you finding them all?
Well, I think to be fair, we have a big Facebook page and group,
Yeah.
and a lot of people often get in touch with us. But we live in quite a rural area in Suffolk, and there's
Yeah.
lots of farms, and lots of farmers tend to, when they're finished with a car, park it up and forget about it.
Yeah.
So a lot of them we find are like that. And also it's funny because a lot of people say, oh, surely you've found all the barn finds now that you can find. But the reality is if you've got the space, a lot of people just park a car up.
Yeah.
And then it just gets left. They always have the intention of going back to it or
Yeah.
restarting that project, but it doesn't happen. So, and then we come along.
Well, I'm really pleased because I've seen you take so many cars that if they've been found by somebody on synthetic, they might have been scrapped.
Yes.
And you've actually done magic with them, and I think it's really great.
Oh,
And
thanks, Steph.
there's so much waste in the world. As many of you know, I feel really strongly about how much we waste as a society. So I love what you do. I love the fact that you breathe life into old stuff, that people that aren't really into cars will go, well, that's rubbish. And it's actually true that one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly.
Or in this
exactly.
case, woman.
Yes.
But what's next for UK Barn Finds?
Well, we've got a few barn find extractions coming up, so
Cool,
that's
yeah.
something to look forward to. And like I said, we may well have a tinker with this and a few other mysteries that we've got stashed away.
Oh,
so
I can't wait for
I
it. That'll be
know.
something fun to look forward to. So bear in mind, you're looking for UK Barn Finds. They're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and it's a really good channel. And you can while away a few hours watching Claire and Elton dig out all sorts of ungodly treasure. Right, let's go and see what else we can find.
And if you're wondering what my favourite car was, it was that pink Cresta. I love that. So thank you very much, Stuart, for bringing it down, because It was just such a superb vehicle. Now, as you can see here, we've got even more brilliant cars on display. And again, another Talbot and another car that caught my eye. Now, you might remember that Land Rover conversion into a camper. We did a review on that a while ago, so it was lovely to see that out and about. And yeah, just so many great cars.
We've just bumped into Scotty Ferno, but how could we miss him? Because we saw the hearse and we thought, blimey, you can tell that he's arrived. Scotty, what was your journey like down?
Slow and boring, plenty of traffic jams.
What's your top speed in this, by the way?
On a private road, I've had it to 100 mile an hour, but cruising speed is normally about 60.
What's it do MPG-wise?
If I'm only going 60 mile an hour on a
Yeah.
straight road, it'll do about 28, but normally it gets about 22, 23.
Ooh, not amazing, but not the worst. Don't you sleep in this as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, I use this as a camper van. I've got a bed in it, I've got a gas stove, I've got loads of spare clothes. It's like my mobile house pretty much.
So for all the people that haven't discovered you yet, and you can find Scotty through his channel, Scotty Ferno, how did you end up with a hearse?
Well, I think about 2 years ago I bought my first hearse.
Yeah.
And I'd finished work on a Friday, I drank a few cans,
Yeah.
and my mate sent me a car advert for the hearse, and within 5 minutes I'd bought it blindly. It turned up and ended up being like one of the worst cars I'd ever bought. It drove. I managed to make plenty of videos out of it and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one came up recently, and I just needed a car to drive around in, and yeah, I ended up buying another one.
And you're loving it, yeah?
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it, yeah.
So if somebody said to you, you can swap this for a camper van, would you swap or would you keep?
I'd swap it for the camper van, sell the camper van and buy another hearse.
Brilliant answer. Now you're on stage later on. Thank you so much for coming to
Oh, it's quite
Rustival.
all right.
It's really good to have you here because
Yeah.
I know it's been quite a trek down for
Yeah.
you. Enjoy the rest of the day and we'll try and catch up with you later and find out what your favourite car
Yeah, no
is.
worries.
Cheers.
Cheers.
If you're watching this from home, by the way, and thinking, I can't believe how many cars there are, imagine me on a time limit. It was so difficult to get around everything. And the thing is you stop to chat to people between filming little bits, and before you know it, you're 45 minutes deep, you've been staring into an engine bay for 5 minutes, and you've lost nearly an hour somehow, which is, I think, one of the big reasons why I didn't get to film everything. And also, I wanted to chat to all the people that were there, because if people have made a massive effort to bring their cars, to take a day out of their busy lives, and to just come up and chat to you, you're not just going to turn around and say, well, look, sorry, I'm filming. And if you ever see me, by the way, at car shows, and people sometimes tell me this, and they say, oh, you look really busy, or, you know, I didn't want to disturb you. No, come and disturb me, come and have a chat with me, because my favourite thing about car shows, and people will probably tell me I'm wrong to say this, is chatting to people. I love it, because you know what? I can see all sorts of stuff online. Now, hold on, let me just break off from this. How cool is this? This was my second favourite of all the cars. This Learner Metro car, and I'm going to tell you why it's my second favourite, because I learnt to drive in a red Metro that was just like that one. Well, I say it was just like that one. Mine was an MOT failure and it was awful and all the paint was peeling off. So it wasn't as nice as that. And it just filled me with great joy to see that young people are still learning to drive in what I deem a proper car, because when everything's done for you, can you even drive? Anyway, love these Twingos as well. Big hit for me.
Right, well, you might have thought at Rustival you were just going to be seeing static cars, but ADO Restoration, where I work during the week, so some of you know that, some of you don't, it's in Halifax, so if you need your classic car working on, just give us a bell, because, well, we do some good work. And anyway, we have got a lot on at the garage at the moment, and we had a little bit of a joke and we said, well, should we just bring some work to Rustival? And we had to take this engine out of the Mini, and I used the Royal we, because obviously I sit in the office, so I'm not getting my hands dirty. Ed, what is going on today? How's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right. So we've got this Mini that we're putting a close ratio gearbox in.
Yeah.
And so, as you just said, we thought, well, we'll bring it with us.
Yeah.
So we're nearly ready to lift it out. So I've got my original Sykes Pickavant engine hoist here that I'm just about to fit. And then we'll pop the drive shaft out and we're ready to lift. So yeah, we're pretty much there.
So you've done it, you've achieved your goal of getting the engine out at Rustival.
Yeah, we have. It's been slow because we've had to talk to a lot of people as we've been doing it, as you can imagine. But it's been great. Everybody's enjoyed it. I think, you know, seeing us hands-on and working on the car like you say, has really given something else to the show and to let
Absolutely.
people see.
I think it's really important that I personally think that especially a lot of people that are old school, give that impression that it's like some sort of dark art,
Yeah.
and that you can't work on a car. And I think it's great that you've made it so accessible today and shown people that they can do this at home.
Yeah, I mean,
if you do it in a car
I was
park-
just about to say, if we can do it in the car park at Gaydon Museum, the Heritage Museum, then yeah, they can do it at home on the driveway or on the street. You know, I used to love those period photographs of people working on their cars just out on the road. One that sticks in my mind is somebody who, I think it's a Volkswagen Beetle, and they've got it all masked up with newspaper and they're just spraying it on the street. Yeah, it's quite a good photo. I've seen it a couple of times posted on a few different groups and things. It's just like, yeah, I'll just paint my car today out on the road.
Imagine just thinking that's acceptable. I actually quite like it. When I was at university, one of my favourite stories is that the Morris Miners engine was absolutely knackered, and we were like, what are we going to do? And so anyway, a load of my friends from the Morris Miner Owner Club, young members, came up and we took out the washing line pole out the garden of the student front lawn bit. It was a dive of a place anyway, it didn't really matter. What was a bent pole going to do to this place? Because the ceiling was already damp in a million places. So anyway, we pulled the pole out and we hoiked the engine out with the washing line pole, and after that it went from being straight to like a bloody banana, and I thought, oh no, we're going to get collared for that in the end of inspection. And he never picked it up, and I remember driving past it the year after and the tenant still had the banana washing line. I was like, oh, he don't care, he's not changing it. But yeah, I guess it's been really good that you've come down and done this today.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. It's been great.
No, it's been, in terms of, I know you've been doing a lot of this and chatting to people, but what's your impression of the first Rustival you've been to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody says this, but the diversity is fantastic. It is great. I mean, where else can you find, you know, an Alfa Romeo next to a Wartburg?
Next to a Mazda.
Next to
great.
a Mazda and a Skoda. You know, it is just brilliant. I mean, you know, I've been looking at some of the cars that you just think, God, you never see. Like, I'll tell you, the range of Citroens here today has been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
There's some great Citroens here today, from traction Avance right up to there's an XM down there that I was sort of drooling over. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see everybody with the same, you know, enthusiasm for cars.
Yeah, and there's multiple marinas here, which is quite cool.
Yeah, there was a brown one.
Yeah, it's two brown ones and
Blaze
the orange
one just up there. Look, yeah.
I haven't
very
seen that
nice.
orange one yet, so I'm going to go and have a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be where I'm off next. Right, good luck with this engine.
No, thank you.
If you need anything, don't ask me, I'm too tired.
Good to see you, Steph.
A lot of people think that Rustival is only made up of that bit, but here's the thing, when you twizzle around, you'll see we have a load more cars to be looking at, and this is the Mayfair parking area. And I think that there's been a little bit of misconception in that people think they're really far split, but actually it's only 10 steps from VDP through to Mayfair, which means that the show flows upwards, and we've got loads to have a look at up here. So we've had a good little look around VDP. I know we've not managed to see everything, but look, it's mad, right? There's over 350 cars in there, so I had to show you a selection. So now we're going to have a look at a selection here. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so I want to clear up something if you're watching this video, because a lot of people I noticed when they were talking about Rustival were like, oh, I don't want to be in Mayfair, I want to be in VDP. But here's the thing, is we've extended a lot of activity out from Mayfair, from VDP even, into Mayfair, and there's a lot going on up here. And as you can see, the selection of cars up here is just incredible. And in fact, one of my other favourites, we're going to get to in just a minute, was also up here. The selection of cars was just as popping. Now, I know that a lot of people say, oh, well, Mayfair this, Mayfair that. But here's the thing, is originally Rustival 1 was only going to be 350 cars, which was why we only had VDP. But then because those tickets sold out in like 72 hours, we bit the bullet and we said, oh, okay, we'll make the show bigger and we'll take on a bigger space. And that's how we ended up with Mayfair area as well. So it's never a second choice, and it is just as good as VDP. You need to be checking this bit out because, my God, the cars are great.
So you know we called this show Rustival. Some people have really leaned into the theme. Graham, tell us everything. What is going on?
It's a laugh, really, isn't it? It's a standard 1.2 Clio. I use it daily.
Do you really?
Yeah. I travel 40-mile round trip to Hinckley and back to work.
Yeah.
There's no performance mods on it. It's just done for a laugh. It's different. You know, wake up in the morning, have an idea, and go and do it to my car. I've no intentions of ever selling it on. I was just going to run it into the ground. Ended up falling in love with it, and then done this. So, but yeah, she's looked after. She's maintained. She's had cam belt, water pump. She's had brakes, and yeah, she's looked after. Even though she looks like this, she is looked after.
So really, it's just a look, and it's not that rat rod energy doesn't extend to under the bonnet.
No, because I travel so far for work. It's the money more than anything. The cost of fuel nowadays, but. Yeah, given the money if I could, I'd have a V8 muscle like rat rod all day long. So
what got you going? What was the first thing you did?
I blackboard painted the bonnet.
Yeah.
I went to a few shows and I took the paint off this rear quarter panel on my side.
Yeah.
And then I found the wheels quite cheap in the state that they were in.
Yeah.
Put them on. The wife found the bucket seats that are in it. Barbed wire, that's just off Amazon, it's leather, it's not real barbed wire. Yeah, she's been like it 3 years and I haven't been pulled over yet.
Really?
Any police I've gone past, I've normally got a thumbs up from or a smile. But as I say, I take my kids in it, I use it daily, it's all legal, straight MOT, you know, it's all... It
is really good fun, and it's lovely to see people having fun with cars, because I think nowadays, with cars being worth so much money, everyone's so serious.
Yeah. A lot of people walking past sort of looking and sneering, and there's others like yourself, like, oh, your car's amazing, can we have a chat? And yeah, it's just a smile it doesn't matter how bad it's raining, what mood I'm in, I've got a smile on my face every time I drive it.
We know what, I think it's brilliant. As I always say in videos, we only live once, and if you're having fun, you're not hurting anyone, and you're just having a good time, and you're not wasting your life just doing nothing, then something like this is really good fun, and it's great to see. And it's lovely to see that people still do stuff like this, because I feel like so much of this scene has just disappeared with vehicles being worth so much that everyone's just like, oh no, it has to be perfect, all the rest of it. So thank you for bringing it, thank you for doing this, and I think you're attracting a lot more attention as we go.
Nice one, thank you.
Cheers, thanks so much.
No, I appreciate it, thank you ever so much.
I really enjoyed this section of Mayfair because it was like just one car after another that I really liked and I really wanted to take home. And I know the show is called Rustival, and some people think that means your car's to be rusty to come, but we just wanted a fun name that really summed up the fact that we didn't have any airs and graces about the show. And Matt was sitting with us and he said, what about Rustival? And we were like, yeah, that is great. So if you're watching this and saying, hey, some of these cars are really shiny, yeah, it doesn't matter. It was just a name and we loved it.
We talk about inspiring the next generation. Now, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Jeremy and my dad's got a Fiat Panda CLX and I've got one at home I'm doing up.
So what do you love about the Fiat Panda?
Right, they're really easy to work on. If anything goes wrong, it's just there to be done.
Now, a lot of people that are your age would say, well, that's just an old car. And they're into all the supercars and the brand new electric stuff. What's made you fall in love with old Fiats?
Yeah, I've been working on a couple myself with my dad, and my uncle's got a couple. So we've been working on, he brought one as like a project car because he liked them. So he got one. Then it came, and then we started doing it up.
And how old are you?
17.
You're 17?
Yeah.
And how long have you been working on cars?
A couple of years.
And so do you want to make that your career, or do you prefer just to keep it for weekends?
Keep it for weekends.
And so what do you think? So we need to get more young people interested. We need to get more young people interested in older cars. What do you think gets these young people interested?
Yeah, you don't see many of them on the road, and they start talking about them, and then you see like people like the Land Rover Defenders, so they see them off-roading.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I want to get one of those, like, to work on one. Then they just go into them.
And so do you think we just need to get more young people behind the steering wheel? Brilliant. So what's next for your project, Fiat?
Got to do welding in certain areas, then do the rest of it, putting like interior bracket, find an interior for it and put it in.
And are you getting some help with the welding?
Yeah, my dad's doing the welding for me.
Oh, what an absolute legend. If your dad can weld, best dad ever. Yeah. You can buy whatever you want now.
Yep.
So when are you hoping to get it on the road? Are you hoping for next summer, maybe summer after?
Maybe next summer or the summer after.
Brilliant. Oh, well done. And thank you for help keeping old cars on the road.
Lots of love for these Rover Metros, one of my favourites. Now look at this Meowdy. Oh my goodness, I love this. It's been so photographed. You'll see loads of photographs out there of it. But that was, again, one of my top 3 cars of the show. Because this is the great thing about Rustival, is that some shows you go to and you'll only see your like traditional classics. And so you're looking at rows of the same cars. Morris Miners, I'm looking at you. Whereas at least coming to Rustival, I get to see loads of stuff that otherwise I just wouldn't get to see. And also a big shout out to all the people that brought some of the early Mondeos as well, because it's very much an endangered species, very much a car of their time, and I'm really pleased that so many people made that effort to bring them.
Okay, I just had to stop and show you this. This Clubman estate, oh my goodness. I can't wait to take some pictures and show Paul to really inspire him. Do you remember we looked at that Clubman on the channel a couple of weeks ago? Anyway, Callum, have you had to do a lot of work to this?
Yeah, it's been fully restored.
Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, that's what we do for a living.
Oh, nice. You've done such a great job of it.
Yeah, thank you.
It is absolutely stunning. And what shade of paint is this?
Tundra.
Is it Tundra?
Tundra green, yeah.
It's a really good car. How long did it take you to do this?
About 8 months probably, something like that.
8 months. And
Yeah.
were you on it every day, just weekends?
Weekends and evenings at that time it was,
Really?
yeah. Yeah,
You must have been knackered by the end
yeah,
of that.
that's it, yeah.
So what kind of state was it in when it turned up?
Just about on the road. It was
okay.
rusty all over, but yeah, it was hanging.
Brilliant. And when did you complete it? Because it looks
Oh, it's been
box
done 12 years now, it's been done.
You're joking. This is a
No.
restoration from 12 years ago.
Yeah. It's,
That is phenomenal. Do you
it's
have
standing up well.
Yeah, do you have it garaged all the time?
Yeah,
Paintwork's
it's in the
bang on.
garage, yeah.
It's got a really, this is probably impossible for you to see at home on the camera, but the paint finish is so good. You know when you look at older paint and it starts to just kind of like lose just a little bit of its shine and it can look a little bit dull and almost uninviting. This looks like it's been done in the last 12 months. The
Thank
finish
you.
on that is lovely, really exceptional. And so how much do you take this out?
Every other weekend, something like that. It's not
Really?
out that often, but it does get used. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for bringing it along. Have you
No
had a great
problem.
time at Rustival,
Yeah, it's
by the
been
way?
very good, thanks, yeah.
I see you've got other minis with you.
Yeah, we're all together, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, safe travels to all of you and thanks, and we hope to see you at the next one.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you're doing this show as a punter, my top bit of advice would be is start at the furthest corner and walk your way down, because there was so much up here that I saw tucked away and I thought, oh, I love this. I'm so glad that I've managed to break away for 10 minutes to come and explore. Although you'll see a few gaps because I didn't get away right until the end of the day. So I'm sure there's some bits I missed, but it was still great nonetheless.
I saw Callum's Acclaim and I was like a wasp at a picnic. I was straight in there because you just never see an Acclaim anymore. And Callum is relatively young. Callum, what are you doing with an Acclaim?
I've just always liked them, to be honest, ever since I was a child. I remember seeing Quinton Wilson doing a piece on these, looking for bangers for X amount of money, and I've fallen in love with them ever since then, pretty much.
Now, there really are only a handful left of these, unlike some of the older Triumphs where they seem to be so plentiful.
Yeah.
How did you find the right one for you?
Bit of a stroke of luck, really. It was owned by the previous family for 40 years.
Wow.
They used it for 20 years as their car.
Yeah.
For the 20 years after that, it just did 8 miles a year to and from its MOT centre. And then it was up for sale. And yeah, I thought it was just the right car for me, pretty much.
So is it local to you then?
It was originally sold in Barlaston in Staffordshire. And
Yeah.
I'm from Telford, so it isn't that far away from me at all. But it has been used and it hasn't been restored, so it's very much in its original condition.
That's fantastic. And how often are you out in her?
As often as I can be, really. Unfortunately, for my work, I use a works van, so I can't drive it to work and back, although I would if I could. But almost every weekend, I'm out in it.
Now, in terms of getting your parts that you need, what do you do to source everything?
Struggle is probably the best way of describing
Okay.
it, although the Facebook group is probably the best place to find anything, just because it's so difficult to find things otherwise.
Do you know the Proton scene's like that? I get everything for the Proton through the Facebook group or through John Coupland, and it's nice to hear that there are these Facebook groups that are so supportive.
Definitely.
So how many people are in the Owners Club for these?
I think we've got about, on the admin, I think we've got about 1.7, 1.8k at the moment.
Oh, really?
Which isn't too bad. And I've got a garage full of spares.
So well timed. I don't know if you could hear that because we've not mic'd him, but the admin for the Facebook group is just off camera and tells us there are around 1.7, 1.8k members on this group. I think he's going to give us a little wave in his national coalboard jacket, the most 70s thing that I've seen all day actually, apart from an orange marina. This is great. Thank you for bringing it.
No, thank you.
What's your next plans with it? Are you doing any work to it this winter?
Apart from some rust proofing underneath, it will just be continued to be driven pretty much. Just keep on top of maintenance.
Oh, that is smashing. Well, enjoy it and we hope to see you at the next Rustival.
Definitely, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Now this video is just to give you a bit of a taster for what Rustival's like, and this is our final row of cars that we're getting to see. Now I know there's plenty of you that couldn't make this show, and I hope this has given you a bit of a feel for what the show is like. But of course Ian's got a video coming out, I think Matt's got something coming out, and I hope that we'll see you next time. I know there's plenty of people that couldn't make it. A big shout out to Mike Cleesby for his baby who was born on Rustival Day. So if you're watching this, Mike, congratulations on your beautiful baby boy who's just been born, and hopefully you'll bring him to the next show and we can celebrate properly. Now you notice there's a few gaps, that's because I'm filming right at the end of the day. Now I want to show you my favourite commercial before we sign off from this brilliant show.
Oh, you didn't think I was going to let this video finish without doing a commercial, did you? Come on, tell us about this then, Harry.
So this is my CF, my 1982 Bedford CF 250. I remember them being about as a kid. I'm an early 90s kid, so I remember these thundering around when I was young.
Yeah.
And I saw it come up for sale, and my mates said, you need to buy this, because it was very cheap. And I didn't, and then they said, well, what if we put some money towards it to help you out? So I did. And I got it, and then it became a lockdown project.
Love
and
that.
I'm just really trying to, make it, make it right for its age, like the number plates with the plastic digits and the
such nice detail,
and the nameplate on the back and the laser font on the back. And it's just a great vehicle, and I love driving it. And I've got a lot of friends that suddenly need sofas picking up and washing machines and stuff.
How often are you out with it?
I try and take it out sort of at least once a week or twice a week. Yeah.
Do you? What do people say? Do you get old tradies giving you absolute admiration?
All the time. This is my most admired vehicle out of all the vehicles that I've got.
Is it really?
Absolutely, yeah. I get some people looking out their windows thinking I'm collecting scrap metal. And just everyone really likes it and says, oh, my dad had one of those, or whatever. And it gets a lot of admiration off a lot of people.
I'm so pleased that you've done it, because so many commercial vehicles, I don't know what you think at home, but commercial vehicles just, I feel like, get drafted in, do their job, and then they get drafted back on out again, and that's it. And they don't get loved and appreciated. So it's so nice that you've taken this on and given it a bit of love in retirement years.
Yeah, it probably does more miles now than it ever did.
It's brilliant. No, so how far did you come today?
Only from Aylesbury, so about 55, 60 miles.
It's still a fair whack, isn't it?
Yeah, and it went to Donington Park, a Vauxhall show over at Donington Park. Yeah.
And how did it go down?
Yeah, people loved it. The odd person looked at it and goes, why have you brought a Bedford to a Vauxhall show? Oh. And it came here about a month ago to Vauxhall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it went to the Cophill Climb about 2 weeks ago. And it went to a show in Oxford, and it's been to quite a few different shows, and the Chiltern Hill show in Aylesbury.
So I've got a few bits of furniture that need picking up on the way back. Are you all right to do that?
Yeah, I've got tie downs in the back.
Result. Well, that's a wrap for Rustival number 2. I am so tired, but it has been such a great day. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's been so supportive about Rustival. Whether you've shared our post, liked our post, come down today, just got into the spirit of Rustival itself, or if you're one of those people that's been really accommodating and encouraging of people that have perhaps been shy and nervous about coming along. Because that's the thing about Rustival. It's not just that all wheels are welcome and you can come in whatever vehicle you like. It's also about the community community as well. Because one of the things that I am so proud about with Rustival is that this is an event where you can turn up on your own. It doesn't matter, because everyone will have a little natter with you, and you'll walk away with a whole new book of friends that you never knew existed the day before. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I've not been able to see every car, but I've spent a lot of the day chatting to people, which has been really good, because there are so many people I speak to online, and then seeing them in real life is a real buzz. Even when you're the creator and you'll see a name pop up and you'll be like, oh yeah, and there's like really nice people from Scotland, people that have come from abroad, and that for me has been the biggest highlight. Just all the people that I've met and chatted to and heard people's car stories. It's been great. Anyway, I can't buzz on forever, can I? It's just, oh, it's been so good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I see you at the next Rustival, and if you came, tell me what you came in, tell me what you enjoyed, and until next time when we meet again, take care and drive safely.